Hello children, today we'll be dealing with the first unit of macroeconomics, national income and related aggregates. Children, national income and related aggregates is a huge unit which deals with various methodology of calculating national income. To talk about, it discusses about production method, income method, expenditure method and so on, and of course GDP and welfare. To understand these concepts, we need to know some basic concepts which helps us in understanding the national income and related aggregates. So today we'll be basically discussing about these basic concepts which are related and required to understand national income accounting. When we talk about national income, national income and related aggregates. National income, some basic concepts. We also say that it's a part of macroeconomics. So let's talk about what macroeconomics is. Macroeconomics is that branch of economics which studies economic issues or economic problems at the level of economy as a whole. Children, we have learnt in standard 11th under microeconomics, consumers equilibrium, producers equilibrium, price equilibrium. Children, we have seen there that we learnt about individual economic units, unlike what we are learning today under macroeconomics, that is national income, because national income deals with the economy as a whole. Finally, what we need to know is the difference between micro and macro. Microeconomics deals with all those studies related to individual economic units, whereas macroeconomics studies all those economic problems and issues at the level of economy as a dealing with. So basically, when we talk about national income, we are learning, we have begun a part of macroeconomics. But what is macroeconomics? Just as you have learned in 11th standard about microeconomics, microeconomics is a subject that deals with an individual economic unit. Macroeconomics is that branch of economics which deals with economic issues or economic problems at the level of economy. To understand, as I said, we need to know certain basic concepts, and we begin with goods. What are goods? Children, goods are defined as any physical object or services rendered that demands a price in the market. Children, the usual perception amongst children y'all is that goods are nothing but they are physical objects, like the duster that I have, a book that I have, a water bottle that I have. So these are all physical objects. But when we talk about economics and use the term goods there, it doesn't cover up only physical objects but also the services, as services rendered by your teacher, services rendered by a doctor, a physician, they all account to be a part of goods. Now these goods are further classified as consumption goods and capital goods. So let's But in order to know national income, we need to understand certain concepts required, which are required in estimating national income. To begin with, it's goods. So what are goods? Goods are defined as any physical object, natural or man-made, or services rendered that could demand a price in the market. Further, goods can be classified. What are consumption goods? Consumption goods are those goods which are purchased or own-produced for satisfaction of wants. Now, either they are purchased, yes, I want to read a newspaper, I purchase it, that's purchased. I am a farmer, I need wheat to consume within my family, I own produce it. So still that becomes a part of consumption good. So the good may be purchased or own produced. Finally, if it's used for satisfaction of want, that becomes the consumption good. So these consumption goods can be, as I said, the wheat produced, or the the bread that I purchase, the television set that I use it at home, the washing machine that I use, the sound system that I use, the laptop that I use. All these are various kinds of consumption goods. Even the clothes that I wear, the shoes that we wear, they are all kinds of consumption goods, and also the services, as I told you. So depending upon the kinds of goods, these goods are classified into 4 different ways. They are durable consumption goods, non-durable consumption goods, semi-durable consumption goods, and services. Durable consumption goods, as the word durable itself suggests, are those consumption goods which are used for a longer period of time. They provide their services over a period of time, and that is why they are called as durable consumption goods, because the term durable, the word durable itself means something that can be used for a longer period of time. For example, the television set, we can use that for a longer period of time, so it can be called as durable consumption good. Then what are non-durable consumption goods? Non-durable consumption good is the bread I purchase for my satisfaction of my want. I consume it, it gets over, it gets finished off, so that becomes a part of non-durable consumption good. Semi-durable consumption good is neither durable nor non-durable. For example, the shoes and the clothes that I wear, they are part of semi-durable consumption good, because it may be used for a period of a year or so. Then what are services? The services that are being rendered by a teacher, by a doctor, by a soldier, they are all a part of capital good and consumption good. So what are capital and consumption goods? Let's begin with consumption goods. Consumption goods are those goods which are purchased or own produced for satisfaction of our wants. Anything that you purchase, of course you purchase it to satisfy your requirements, your wants. So anything that you purchase or you own produce which satisfies your want are called as consumption goods. These goods are of four kinds: durable consumption goods, non-durable consumption goods, semi-durable consumption goods, and non-material, that is services. Durable consumption goods are those goods which provide their services over a period of time. For example, it's washing machine, it's a sound system, it's a microwave oven. So any consumption good which can be used over a period of time are called as durable consumption goods. Non-durable consumption goods are those goods which satisfy your wants, and as you use that particular commodity, it gets completely used up in order to satisfy your wants. Such goods like food, electricity, these goods are called as non-durable goods. Semi-durable consumption goods are those goods which last for around a year or so period of time, like clothes, clothes or certain electronic goods which do not have much of life. They are called as semi-durable goods. And non-material consumption goods or services are services consumption goods. Another part of good is the capital good. What are capital goods? They are those goods which are capable of producing other goods. There are certain goods which are capable of producing other goods, and such goods are called as capital goods. For example, the machine, we use a machine to produce other things, then that machine would be a part of capital goods. These goods are usually used by a producer for the purpose of generating income. And these capital goods can also be of two further types, that is durable capital goods and non-durable capital goods. Durable capital goods, the example that I gave you about the machine, yes, that's a part of durable capital goods. But the raw material is also used by a producer. For example, a producer purchases cloth to convert into garments. So that cloth is a part of capital good, but it is a part of non-durable capital. Rendered by teachers, doctors, then maid servants, they are all services. Further, we come up to capital goods. Capital goods are those goods which are capable of producing other goods. They are producers' goods. So next we are going to take up the investment. So what is investment? Investment is nothing but addition made to the stock of capital during a period is what is investment. Children, this is also called as capital formation. I repeat, what is investment? It is addition made to the stock of capital during a period is called investment. This investment is of two kinds. It can be fixed investment and stock investment. What are fixed investment? Investment in fixed capital. They are usually durable. They are called as fixed investment. While investment in stock of raw material, semi-finished goods and finished goods are called as stock investment. When we talk about capital and investment together, actually they are very closely related to each other. See, capital and investment both compose of capital goods but are different in the accounting sense. Production units purchase new capital goods every year. These go on accumulating year after year. The accumulated stock of capital goods at the beginning of the year is called capital, but the capital goods added to this capital during the year is called investment. The example that I quoted, for example, suppose capital of a firm at the beginning of the financial year is rupees 10 lakhs and at the end of the year it becomes rupees 11 lakh. This addition of rupees 1 lakh during the year is investment. The beginning of the year capital is rupees 10 lakh and at the end of the year capital is rupees 11 lakh.
Represented by your teachers, doctors, then maid servants, they are all services. Further we come up to capital goods. Capital goods are those goods which are capable of producing other goods. They are producers' goods.
Now we talk about intermediate and final goods. Children, intermediate and final goods are very important concept when you use them in terms of calculating national income. So what are intermediate goods? Intermediate good refers to those goods and services which are purchased during the year by one production unit from other production units and completely used up or resold during the same year. First part of the definition of intermediate goods is that they are either goods or it can be also services. Another part is it's being purchased by one production unit from the production unit during a year. The third and the most important part is it gets completely used up. So all those goods which are purchased and those goods, when it gets completely used up, by the term completely used up, it means the original good loses its original form. For example, a sweet seller purchases milk and sugar and uses milk and sugar to make sweets. The milk and sugar loses its original form and finally takes up the form of sweets. So the milk and sugar here is a part of intermediate good because it gets completely used up in the process of production. Another example is about a carpenter. A carpenter purchases wood. It purchases wood to manufacture tables. In order to manufacture table, it completely uses up the wood. The wood loses its original form and gets converted into table. So here the wood is a part of intermediate goods. The second part of the definition, either it's completely used up or resold. Even if the goods are not completely used up but they are purchased with the intention of reselling it, even then that good is a part of intermediate good. For example, a shopkeeper purchases packets of bread with the intention of selling the good. So that packet of bread is a part of intermediate good because it's been purchased with the intention of reselling it. Same packet of bread, if I purchase it as a household, it becomes a final good because I haven't purchased it with the intention of reselling it. So intermediate goods are those goods which are purchased by one production unit from other production unit and which gets completely used up, or they are purchased for reselling during the same year. They are
represented by your teachers, doctors, then maid servants, they are all services. Further we come up to capital goods. Capital goods are those goods which are capable of producing other goods. They are producers' goods.
So what are final goods? Final goods and services purchased or own produced for the purpose of consumption and investment are final goods. Now again, final good has two parts. Either they are purchased or own produced for the purpose of consumption, or for investment. They are final goods. Suppose I purchase a packet of bread with the intention of consuming, that's the final good. Okay? Or if I purchase a car, I invest, I'm going to use it for a period of time. That's an investment, so again that's a final good. Similarly, a manufacturing unit invests lakhs of rupees in purchasing machine. Again, that's an investment, so that's a part of final good. These final good or intermediate good, no good in particular can be classified as completely being final or intermediate good. It depends actually upon the end use whether that good is categorized as final good or intermediate good. For example, the bread. The bread, when I purchased, it becomes a final good. When it's being purchased by the shopkeeper for resale purpose, that becomes an intermediate good. So the end use determines whether a good is final good or intermediate good. So no product is always final or intermediate.
Represented by your teachers, doctors, then maid servants, they are all services. Further, we come up to capital goods. Capital goods are those goods which are capable of producing other goods. They are producers' goods.
That's all for today, children. Thank you.